All right, one sec. We're having a little bit of technical difficulties, and I think it's because the driver is, or not driver, but software updates are going right now. So, which is piss poor time. I should have turned that off, but I forgot to. So we're gonna let that ride out until I get started on everything. So just hang in there. Okay, we're back. So far, so good. It seems like everything is running, but now I gotta reshare the live stream. I also have a feeling it may crash out again. Just a feeling. But I hope everybody's having a good night. It's Tech Talk Thursday, guys. Tech Talk Thursday. Okay, that's done there. Done there. Don't care. Of course, it's gonna copy that. Okay. Discord. Why the hell did Discord shut down? Welcome, welcome. How's our Thursday night going? All right. So that's all shared across the board. Okay, check one other thing, 'cause it's supposed to be live also on YouTube. Sorry it's taking a sec, but we're trying to get this thing to go. Trying to get it correctly. Alright, yep, we are good. Awesome. Awesome. We got the multi-stream going. Okay, so we're going to be going over some things in topics here. Of course, now I'm being interrupted.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on.
Okay, hopefully we don't get interrupted again. Sorry about that. Trying to. I wish I could be live every single time I can, but, without interruptions. especially on a night where I don't have kids other than the baby, but she's already asleep. So, back to our regular scheduled programming. Some topics I want to go over with tonight. The release of AMD Ryzen's 8000 F series. Want to go over some of that, pricing, cost, the specs that are going, and I'll even drop the affiliate links from my Amazon, which you're not paying anything extra, just helps support the channel and all that good shit, as you've probably heard from other influencers. Nvidia and MediaTek are gearing up to tackle the AI PC market hand in hand with all new chips, which is nice. So they're going to go into the CPU market, but it seems like they're only going to be maybe aiming at the laptop portion of the CPU market and see what they're. And I guarantee you, it's going to be like a testing ground and see how everything goes on that end, and then they'll obviously move towards possibly desktop. Seeing that AMD's already doing it with their AI CPUs, as they change their name, Ryzen AI. We're going to go over some market stuff, where all the hardware is at this time. It is Memorial Day weekend coming up here fairly soon. And then we have in July, early July, Prime Day. So we're going to have all the Amazon Prime deals starting to spark up around end of June or so, and then follow suit because of Father's Day as well and everything. So everything's going to be great for purchase. And then I'm going to go over some affiliates, my storefront on the affiliate side, so you guys can go to that store and all that, and I'll drop the link as well in that. Gonna go over how AMD's AM4 platform is considered legendary. And I think we can all agree as gamers or even PC enthusiasts here, AMD's AM4 platform has been a huge, huge evolution in computer hardware. And they've shown time and time again, performance gets better every time. And no one can say otherwise. I mean, the numbers are there. Performance-wise, against Intel, and just the overall affordability out of them. You know, get all these higher end chips that AMD comes out with within affordable pricing, and so on and so forth. Even with their APUs and their F series, huge. And I will be going over that as well in the beginning here. I also want to do maybe a Q&A. If we get enough people in here, I'll do a Q&A and just ask me anything on the PC side of things, what my opinions are, whatever the case is. I want to go over things like, what do you mainly use your system for? Do you just do it for gaming? Do you do it for gaming and streaming, content creation, workstation for work? Whatever the case is, I want to hear about it. Let's talk about it. Let's see what we can, what you do on the daily, and then go over what hardware is supporting that system of yours. And then we can see where, if it were me, what would I upgrade on that system to help, not necessarily the performance, but cost-wise too. You know, what can I do to help you understand what you're spending on and to save you that money and still get the same performance that you're looking for, if not better. So we're going to go over some of that, and then I want to try to do something, and this will depend again on how many people we get in here and involved, but doing improve my build. So one of you guys in the chat, either be on YouTube or here on Twitch, and go over what would you, or if I was you, what would I do to improve my build? So I want to go over, do that stuff, and then I want to go over some about donations to Danger Zone PCs and repair, used hardware, older PCs that I can refurbish, do all that, and either I could flip them or I would end up doing all that kind of stuff, and then reutilizing it as a not necessarily to sell all the time, but also to teach people about that hardware. Do live videos with that hardware and those systems, so we can go over what the fundamentals of that hardware does and everything like that. And not necessarily, I guess we could go into performance things, even if it was like lower end tier. You know what I mean? Just bare minimum. What can we provide out of this? Could we make it into a NAS? Do projects, stuff like that. Do all kinds of cool stuff. I think would be awesome. Get the kids involved and showing them how the PC works, and having them maybe try to get in their hands involved would be a really cool idea. And it's good for hardware, having good hardware to test things with, doing troubleshooting hardware wise or even software wise. It would just be a really cool thing to do. And then I want to go over the Switzer Enterprises project that I talked about last week, that the boss wants to do. This week has been a little hectic with companies that we're servicing. It's just been a lot of stuff going on overall. And then then yesterday I missed out on work just because of the baby, and then so on and so forth. And tomorrow's already Friday, and he was out all day today. So I do want to go over that a little bit just as an update, see where we're at on that. And then I want to do some PC part picker things, building a grade A gaming PC, content creation PC, and workstation office PC. And then going over gaming performance myths with hardware. That will also tie in with the PC builder or part picker. So let's get into it. So I want to go over first is the AMD's Ryzen 8000F series. Pull that up. This time I'm not that prepared for all that good stuff. Excuse me. I've been sneezing a lot today. Oh my god. And I know I do not have allergies. Boop-a-dee-boop-boo. No. There it is. There it is. Pull this over so you can all see too. There. Oh my god, I hate that shit. Okay. So, AMD launches Ryzen 7 8700F and Ryzen 5 8400F. So these are their budget Zen 4 CPUs with the RDNA integrated graphics. Now, yes, it has integrated graphics, but it's not the G, so it's not going to be its high-end graphics. So you're not going to want to game with this. This is your office style computer chip, if you would. It's just a good CPU to have if you're doing office work. You're not doing high-end, stuff that requires heavy video graphics. So like your standard integrated graphics with a lower tier Intel chip. It's similar iGPU, or without the iGPU, sorry. And this is on the AM5 platform, and this is also the start of their AI stuff. Now, yeah, everything else is the G, the early 8000 series G. That stuff has AI compute units and all that good stuff with their tops, but this also has that kind of stuff. But it's not as highly performed as from what I'm hearing, but there is updates to come for that. The Ryzen 8000F series processors leverage AMD's existing Phoenix APU silicon, which comes directly from the TSMC's 4nm oven, so that's huge. The chip still features the Zen 4 execution cores, but lack of the integrated RDNA 3 graphics engine that's present in the Ryzen 8000G counterparts. The approach is analogous to what Intel does with their F-series models, fusing off the iGPU to offer cheaper models to attack the lower price points. In a market standpoint, yes, that is great. This is your office CPU. Therefore, you must pair these chips with a dedicated graphics card. So sorry what I said earlier. I don't know why the title is listed wrong, but yeah. So this is going to be your definite office computer with a designated graphics card now, or discrete graphics card. Sorry, terminology is all off tonight, all over the damn place. So this is, you can also use them for gaming. Don't get me wrong. So it's probably going to give out. We're going to also wait for the some performance reviews and all that good stuff, and see where it stands as a standard CPU, like as if it was the AM4 platform without integrated graphics. I think just because AMD's AM5 platform chips have definitely been proven to do a lot of good, and performance-wise, and for what they need to do, is great. So I think AMD is doing the right thing by doing the F series again with their AM5 platform. I think it's definitely going to prove, and keep their market share at the higher end over Intel, which they just took over, by the way, just yesterday, the day before this week, which is huge. They're doing great. It's going to come with the Wraith Stealth Cooler. Here's the pricing points as of right now. So compared to the 87G, which is at $329 right now, the Zen 4 8700F is going to be a $300. So it's going to be only about $30 less. Now, the Ryzen 7, I would say, unless it's going to perform absolutely, badass. I mean, shoot, right there, just your max boost clock, 5 gigahertz. That is pretty huge at 65 watts, and with a standard of 4.1, I mean, that's pretty damn good. It's 0.1 less than the G with the iGPU counterpart. But at the same time, I don't feel like that is in a price point to be a budget necessarily. That's still a higher end, but again, it is 8 cores, and 16 threads. So I can see where AMD is coming from, but at the same time, as a consumer myself, I don't think that should be at least $250. I would have gone $250 with that. Now the 8400. Now this is not the 86 or 85, which is kind of weird that they didn't go that route with the 8500. But whatever, AMD's going to do what they're going to do with their naming. But price point on this, I think this is actually quite well priced for their 6-core 12-thread CPU here. They're at a 8400F at a 189, and then their G on the 8600 is 230, which is not bad. I mean, it's about the same difference in pricing, but it's all still there. I mean, again, huge performance gap here in the boost clocks and base clocks at 65 TDP watts, and it has all the same good L2 cache and L3 cache. But again, for an office CPU, just basic work with discrete graphics card, I mean, or even if you're just trying to do, again, office work, or even lower-end gaming, 1080p, not high settings, you're just getting into gaming on the PC world, all that good stuff, this would be a great CPU, 6-core, 12-thread CPU. I will throw this in the link, or in the chat below, for everybody to have, and then everybody on YouTube, I will throw it in the chat as well, but I will also put it in the description once I get that video loaded up later. But that is huge ordeal there. I think it's definitely going to be, if AMD is going to be a force to be reckoned with come early next month when they announce their big 9000 series, if it's going to be called 9000 series. We're only speculating that because that's the next round in numbers. But I will definitely drop this link below. I hope everybody is having a great night, guys. Thank you for all joining. Oh shoot, I forgot to have YouTube pulled up again. Oh no. But I think the F series for a budget, in a sense, for on the Ryzen 5 end of it is going to be great. I do hope that this Ryzen 7 8700F does go down in price at least another $30 at least. If they do that, especially come around like Father's Day, or if it's around Prime Day, especially, I think it'll sell very well, and I think AMD will realize that and take advantage of what could be there. You know what I mean? And again, this is my Amazon affiliate link with these CPUs or anything on Amazon that I post, either that be in the Discord or the chat. It's no extra cost to you, but it does definitely support the channel and helps me bring this kind of content, if not better, and more content for YouTube and so on and so forth. So that takes care of that. So affiliate links, yeah, we go to the affiliate link stuff. I don't know why I just exited that one out. So anytime I post anything like on Discord or anything like that, so for instance, right now, like the Ryzen 7900 X3D, the 12 core, it's right now 38% off at a good $370 off of its MSRP. There is other options that are a little bit more expensive, but still right around the same price point. I think that is pretty good, especially if you're going to be gaming on this 12 core. I think it is a very good high core count gaming CPU. Now, cores, when it comes to gaming, it really doesn't matter. What really matters in this kind of chip is the X3D cache that is, or the 3D cache that is on these CPUs, and it's huge because that's where you're gaining actual performance from the CPU. You're not gaining any kind of performance in a regular CPU. In all honesty, it's all even. You could put against a 7600 against a 7950X and still get very minimal performance difference in FPS. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong. I guarantee you I'm right. It's all in the numbers, guys. All in the numbers. But the X3D variants are top of the line gaming CPUs. I highly recommend them. I wish I actually owned one of mine, or one of them myself, in a gaming sense. And I think eventually I will in the future. But until then, I do recommend it for everybody else. And being the best CPU on the, or gaming CPU, sorry, the best gaming CPU on the market, and it's going for about $280 right now, is the 7800 X3D, 8-core, 16-thread. And that's huge. I mean, that's huge for this badass CPU. I mean, what kind of sale are we looking at right now? So this is 38% off right now. It's $170.51 off the original price. That's a lot. That is a lot for a CPU this great. And AMD is capitalizing on this, and I guarantee you it's going to keep selling until it sells out. And even like the Micro Center bundles they have on Amazon too, which you can also find out on microcenter.com, or if you go to Micro Center, you got this one. So I'm not a fan of MSI. They burn out a lot easier. I mean, don't get me wrong, they're great motherboards, but they burn out pretty fast and all that good stuff. But for $570 with the 7800 X3D and then a B650P motherboard, that's not bad. That's not bad. DDR5 and PCIe 4.0. Then you have one for just not even $100 more, honestly, for $640, the 7800 X3D plus the Asus ROG Strix B650E F gaming Wi-Fi motherboard with PCIe 5.0. So that's huge if you're definitely trying to get yourself into an upgradability, and that being only a B650 motherboard, that's pretty good. the 5800X3D, which is another outstanding CPU, but on the AM4 platform, going for $240 right now. That is huge if you're still stuck on the AM4 platform, which is not wrong, and I'll get into that. You know, it's a very, very great platform. I'm still running on it. I have I own two systems of my own, being my gaming rig with the 5900X, and then my workstation that has the 5500 GT in great graphics. I love the CPU. I know it's cheap, but you know that's a great CPU. And then my higher end gaming workstation style high-end processor of the 5900X. Love it. Love them to death. AM4 platform all the way. And then my kids' computer, which I gave them my Ryzen 5 3600X that they use on their gaming computer. Great CPUs, great platform overall, and I capitalize on that full extent. If you're still stuck on AM4, stay stuck on it until you're really ready to go on to AM5. Because AM4 for now is going to stay there. It's been damn near a decade, if not a decade already, of it still in life. I mean, they just keep pushing things out, surprising us with more and more and more, and it's fantastic. So, again, if you're on AM4, stay on AM4 for a while still until you're really ready to say, okay, I'm going to jump over to AM5. Standard 5800X is sitting at a 160, which is great because just my buddy a few months ago when I was upgrading his system, he had to pay, it was like $200 something for that CPU. So that is huge. Let's see the difference on that. Over 50% off. That is huge, guys. Huge. I think that's another CPU we should definitely be looking at, or if you're on the AM4 platform. So the regular Ryzen 9 7900X, still right around that $400 mark. It hasn't really dropped too much. Great CPU though, but I think I would wait until about either, if you want to get it soon, I would wait till Memorial Day weekend or wait till Prime Day. Watch that thing go down to almost, I guarantee you that CPU right there will probably go down to $340. I can almost guarantee it, if not more, because I think the 5900X last year this time was right around this price range, if not a little less. And then when it came to Prime Day last July, when I got it for Father's Day, it was $270. So that was a huge drop. So it may even drop further than that for this platform, because the new not new platform, but the new lineup series of CPUs is coming out. This is on the M4 or 5 platform now. Ryzen 7 7700X, the 8-core processor, not the X3D V-Cache, but at sitting around $300. My opinion, just get the 7800 X3D at that point. Unless you don't want to do gaming or die-hard gaming and you don't really care about the FPS, then go the CPU. At that point, it's about the same price, if not a little more. You know what? Let's see. Yeah, so it's a little more. It's about $10 more than the X3D 7800 X3D at that point. We already talked about that one. It's 5700X, $140. That's not that bad. That is not that bad. Honestly, that's entirely a fair price. Over 57% off. So that's good AM4 5000 series CPU on a budget end. And don't get me wrong, 8-core, 16 threads, 5700X is a very solid CPU, and honestly, it being at now about $140 is fantastic. Keep it up, AMD. The 5700X 3D is at $209. It's $50 or about $40 less than MSRP on this. Get the 5800X 3D at that point. It's the same performance in a sense, obviously, but I think I I would suggest just do the 5800 XTD. You'll get that extra little bump right there if you want, and you won't go wrong. But if you can't afford that extra little bit, then obviously go 5700 XTD. It all comes down to your wallet and what you can actually afford and what you really want in performance-wise. If you don't care about the couple percent increase, go less. It's save money. Price performance per dollar. Think about that. Price performance. Okay. The Ryzen 9 7950X3D, which is another huge 16-core, 32-thread desktop processor, but the gaming variant at $478 right now. That's huge because it was like $500 something just for the 7950X. Okay, I can get behind that. I can definitely get behind that. So that's a pretty good price point right there. Where'd it go? Right there. Let's see if it'll show me the regular one. Right here, yeah, so 505.27 right now for just the standard 7950X without the extra Vcache, which is good pricing, 28% off. This is the processor I personally want when I do go to AM5 for my workstation that's going to run the business and everything. I just want a high-end, because it's going to be running the business, it's also going to do the content creation. So to have the performance there for that kind of stuff, I know it's going to be there, and I can do a lot of processing and a lot of good stuff all at the same time. And then so on and so forth. And then I was also kind of like, what if I just go to 5950X because I'm still on the AM5 platform? No, don't do that. Don't settle, guy. Just go to AM5 with the workstation. And gaming, it'll be later on. It'll be a later on kind of thing. I'm not too worried about that yet. Okay, that does it for a little bit of the market. Oh, you know what? Let's just check out the GPUs. Kind of see where we're at. So the 3060 12 gigabyte NVIDIA card, this is the MSI GeForce one, at $288. It's about the same price as it's been. It's been pretty stuck there. And then the 4060 OC, it's $309, still sitting right there. If you're gonna try to spend that much, save a little bit of money and get yourself just the 288 3060 at 12 gigs instead of just doing the 8 gig. It's pretty sure the 3060 is actually a little bit faster too, if I'm not mistaken. And then your 6650 XT, honestly, if you're trying to stay at 1080p and just be moderate gaming, 8 gigs is fine. 8 gig of VRAM, sorry. At 220, I wish it was a little less, and I guarantee this card will go down in price. But at the same time, this isn't too bad if you're just trying to do some 1080p gaming and not really do higher end gaming. There's nothing wrong with that. 6600 being at $200, only $20 cheaper than the 6650 variant. I think that's a little too high priced in my honest opinion, but hey, if you're gonna just do 1080p and that's where you want to stay with it. The Asus ROG Strix GeForce RTX 4070 OC 12 gig is a good $700 if you're gonna want to pay that pretty penny. I think that's just way too overpriced for a 12 gig graphics card. What are you honestly getting out of that? Ray tracing? Ray tracing is irrelevant. For $130, if you're not too worried about things, you just need a discrete graphics card, especially, and this is a good testing GPU, is the Radeon RX 580. It's a great little card to have. It's a great one to just use to see if you can get video output if you're having GPU troubles. Anything like this. And here's a good example. And this is $65 for a 2 gig 1030 low profile GPU. That's good. It's a good troubleshooting GPU. And I honestly suggest people, it doesn't matter if you know what you're exactly doing. If you know where it plugs in and you know how to dismount your graphics cards, this would not be a bad idea to do if you don't have integrated graphics on your CPU to test your GPU if it's a troubleshoot. You know what I mean? Even a 3050 is a great troubleshooting card for the price. Right now, the 6800 XT is still sitting at a good $430. I do hope this card does go down in price. I think that it would be nice at a good $380 instead of the $430. Especially with apparently they're going to possibly also announce about their new GPUs on Radeon's side of things. The Radeon Asus Dual Fan RX 7600 XT overclocked edition. So this is the 16 gigabyte 7600. It is slow. It's not as fast as you would think with the 7900 GRE or the 7800 XT 16 variants graphics cards. But if you're just trying to do some good mid-range 1440p or higher end 1080p, this is a graphics card with $340, pretty decent. I would still price this thing at $300. Hopefully this one will go down as well, even though it got released just 5 months ago. But it's a decent GPU overall. 7600, that is an overpriced card, especially with only 8 gigs and 128 bit bus. It doesn't make sense, in my opinion, to be that pricey. Especially seeing that the XT with 8 gigs more is, at that price point of $340. I mean, think about this, AMD. I think you'd do a very good job with these cards and sell them a lot more if you really priced them at what they're truly going to perform at in a price point. $800 for the 4070 Ti's, which is quite normal right now. 7900 XTX is still sitting, at least the Sapphire one is still sitting at a good $1,030. I would go the XT, not the XTX, unless you have the money to spend on something like the XTX and you're doing content creation, video editing, 3D rendering, and all that good stuff. Then that's where that card would be highly worth it if that's what you're indulging in. 7800 dual Asus fan, cooling fan, graphics card is 7800 at $480. I think that's a little high price, but it's less than 500 MSRP, so I will definitely condone that one to anybody that wants to buy that. That would be a very good card to get your hands on. These are just repeats. Intel. So Intel Sparkle, the Sparkle Intel Arc A770. It's their 16 gig GPU is at $320. This is the 3 fan. I think it could be a little less. I mean, they have come a long way, but at this point in time, I think if it was a little less, at around $280, I think it would sell great. And you know what? It would definitely give AMD and NVIDIA a run for their money pricing wise. $600 if you want to get this Elhan Sakura 7800 XT. It's for $600. I think that's a little overpriced unless you're trying to only go for the aesthetics. Oh yeah, that weird, or the Expert edition from MSI for the 4070 Ti Super 16 gig at $904. No. Too expensive. Just too damn expensive. No point. Then you got all these random ones. There's another. So this one's a little cheaper. This is $100 cheaper. for the 7900 XTX, so it's under $1,000. Yeah, that's another Sapphire Edition, the Pulse. I think that'd be a pretty good one. Again, if you're only indulging in that kind of lineup of work, not just entirely gaming. The A380 at $100 right now for the Intel Arc. That is not bad. I mean, it looks like you don't. It's just power from the motherboard. You don't even have. It doesn't even have designated power cable to it. So that is another great card to have for troubleshooting. I think even if you were trying to do some 1080p, it's only 6 gigs of VRAM. It's not the greatest when it comes to this modern day gaming thing. But if you're not really doing a lot of gaming, you're just trying to scoot by Office PC or just moderate games or just little stuff, you know what, I would suggest that graphics card. $350, the Acer Predator Bifrost Arc A770 overclocked 16 gig. This one I've heard is pretty damn good, guys. I've heard good things about that card. The 4080 16 gig is about this one with the Noctua fans on it at a good $1,600 right now, apparently. Who's got that kind of fucking money? 6700 XT is the go-to card, but they're being sold out everywhere. Good luck. I know Best Buy has them, and they're about $329 or so. But a good card to get. I know the 6800, it is disappearing fast. It is a graphics card I would definitely pick up if you're not trying to go the new 7000 series. The 6800 non-XT is a great 16 gig graphics card. I think it's a slept-on graphics card, and I think people should definitely look into getting it. Gonna get the same kind of performance. And then also, just these cheaper graphics cards. I think it's just a really good idea just to have these kind of graphics cards as troubleshooting material. If something seems to go out, like even this 120, going for 120, it's an Intel Arc A380. It's another 6 gig. I think this is a good low profile graphics card to have, and all that good stuff. I know it seems like, well, why would you get those kind of GPUs? They're not worth anything really. Well, it's not that they're not worth anything. I mean, they're worth using to troubleshoot. So it's worth the money to have it and not need it, then need it and not have it. Because what if your high-end gaming GPU gives out on you because of something and you just need something to scoot by with? You're either going to be waiting or spending another pretty penny to get a new graphics card, which you may have to do anyways if you lost your warranty. But case is, you have something to scoot on by with. Think about that. I think that'll close out the marketing side of things for now. We did a little bit of forecasting on there. Let's go to my affiliate store. Storefront, guys, storefront. So as you can see, this is very common with if you've been on the Amazon affiliate pages of their storefronts. What we do is we create certain itemized pages here, and we label them or whatever, put as a brief description of what it entails and all that good stuff. So in this case, and you could, if you're a seller on Amazon, this is what you usually would use as well. But I utilize it so people can click into it, see what they can get, and it's already categorized for what that specific item or items in that general idea of things is. So RAM is where the RAM sticks are. The Super Micro server stuff is right where that is. Top laptop choices is what I got right there. The streaming cameras, the Radeon graphics cards, the AM4 CPUs, console accessories, monitors, power supplies, so on and so forth. Now I have two of my builds here that I have pinned. So this one is an basic office build on the AM5 platform with the 55 GT. 5500 GT, sorry, integrated graphics APU. This one was for a client of mine, and great, and it's been working great for. This is run again on the AM4 platform with a 5500 GT APU CPU on the Asus A520M tough motherboard with 16 gigabytes of DDR4 RAM at 3200 megahertz and a 512 gigabyte SSD and a 550 watt 80 plus bronze PSU, all in the Antec NX200 micro ATX case. I must say, that case was actually pretty fun to build in. I wish they allowed you to post more pictures of the of what you're trying to promote, but this was like the best to try to get everything in one picture overall. And then obviously you got all the parts if you want to purchase it, or any of this right now, which is all great. It's a good about $500. Yeah, if you were to include a Windows key, this is good, just over $500, if not just under $500 build right here. So it's a good office computer, but if you're trying to go into mid-range gaming, you can add a GPU to this. Obviously, you could add a M.2 drive to this one. We didn't go that route because it's just cost-wise. For their budget at the time, they wanted something to get them by to do just your average home office work. Nothing high-end, nothing where it's going to need heavy lifting. But you could obviously put a discrete graphics card in this. You could easily upgrade the RAM more, storage. You could add more fans if need be. This only has the exhaust fan that came with, so it can put fan here, and another 2 or 3 right here in the front for more optimal airflow. Overall, this case was actually very fun to build in for a micro ATX. I did have enough room just to get all the cables in right where I needed to, and just cable manage the correct way. The backside, I wish I had, again, this is where I wish I had more pictures to show you guys, but it just really tightens up nice and fit. I wish this was a little bit more less exposed right here, but again, this is a cheaper case. This is not your higher end case again, so beggars can't be choosers. But overall, great case. I highly recommend it if that's something you're looking at with a micro ATX or even ITX motherboard. And now here's one I just did. Now this one I didn't build and did not get commission off of. This is for Sneaky Ray. I follow him on his Twitch. He's brand new to the streaming world and all that good stuff. Definitely check him out. He's, I believe, live right now. But yeah, just definitely check him out. He just got into PC gaming and streaming. This is his rig right here with the 5000X IQ Corsair RGB case, so it's all the glass paneling and all that good stuff. He went with the 360 rad MSI 4080. Now at the time he went with the 4080, it's super. He did not get. They don't really. If you could find a non-super, great. Which in his case he did. But just as a disclaimer, that 4080 that's installed is not the super. He does have the pre-installed fans there, and then he got another extra fan for the exhaust. Then he went with an 850 watt shift. Corsair power supply, 2 terabyte Western Black M.2 drive, and then his motherboard is the Gigabyte Z790 Aorus Elite AX, and then he went with 64 gigabytes of DDR5 RAM. He went on the i9 12900K, or 12900K, sorry, and then yeah. That's all he did. But this is his build. I wish I could post more pictures on it, but this is one I did at work for him. We communicated outside of work so we could get a very good idea of what he was going to get and what he was going to expect. I was able to give him, personal updates. off to the side, out of my normal work hours, and he really did appreciate that. He's loving his build from what I know. Everything's been running great for him. No troubles yet, so that's great to hear. But I'm always there for anybody that does need it. As Danger Zone PC repairs, I am willing to do that. And I'll post all my services and pricing as well if you would like. It's all in my Discord. But yep, great build that he has, and all that good stuff. And then obviously I have my AM5 CPU APUs and Intel CPUs, networking supplies, office space supplies, desks, so on and so forth. So yeah, definitely check it out. I'll post a link in the description or the comments, and then YouTube I will post in the description when uploaded. I hope that helps out a lot for anybody that wants to go get involved with it and check that out. What else did I want to do? So then I wanted to jump in. So not enough people in here to do a Q&A or anything like that. That's fine. We could do that next time. Cancel that one. Do that next time. Okay, yeah, okay. So donation for the PC hardware systems and e-waste PC related. For anybody that's in my area, Solano County, lower portion of Yolo County, I am open for donations for PC hardware that is from like 2015 and newer. As I was saying in the beginning of the stream and podcast, that it's for not necessarily to resell or anything like that or flip PCs, as that is somewhat of an idea I do have, but it's also taking that e-waste that you don't have use for anymore or can't find a use for anymore, and seeing if I can possibly fix it and then utilize it to teach my kids how to build PCs or do something like that, do testing, give more content on here for YouTube and whatnot. With building PCs and just screwing around with hardware and seeing what we could do and all that good stuff. That's the whole idea behind it, but it helps you at no extra cost get rid of stuff that you don't need or that you're holding on that's just gathering dust, because I'm going to use it for sure, 100% sure. Moving on to the Switzer Enterprises project. So our little science projects that I spoke of last week in last week's episode was is there going to be performance with between a i5 12th gen 12600 and then against an i9 12900KF or F, one of the two. Is there going to be an honest performance? Now we know for a fact in gaming there's not going to be performance, if not 1%. If that, maybe a little bit more. It really depends. But the whole system's still going to be, like, spec-wise, it's going to be all the same. The only difference is we're going to swap out the CPUs and get their benchmarks and tests. And we're going to do the i5 and the i9 to get up against each other. Now, the whole reason for this project is to prove to the boss that, yes, there is a performance difference when you are rendering videos and audio, and I think something else we were talking about. When it comes to rendering, you're utilizing a PC's 100% hardware. That's your RAM, that's your CPU, your motherboard, your drives, your storage drives, graphics card if you have one, which in this case we're going to have one. You're using all of that into one whole thing, so it's going to be computing every little bit to render that clip, either that be 15 seconds to 30 seconds. How long does it truly take to render that 100%? And depending on the timing difference, then we would take the difference and try to figure out a point scale of what performance percentage did that take. So if the i5 takes 2 minutes to render 30 seconds of a clip, and then the i9 takes 30 seconds, what's that performance difference? So I do have a poll on my Discord where you can vote and there's multiple things. Is it going to be the same performance? Is there going to be very little performance? Is there going to be more performance? Or is the 12600 going to be better? Or is the i9 going to be better? You know, it's that leveling teeter-totter of, and myths question in hardware here, where what is true? Am I really getting performance, or am I just spending more money on what my boss calls hype? The hype behind the product. You know, if I try to sell you a Mustang GT Premium, well, because it has the name Premium, I can name off 5 different features that are not on your standard GT. But isn't it the same engine? Yes. Is it the same transmission? Yes, unless I get a manual. Then there's a, you know, gear timing, because 1, I'm manually shifting. 2, the automatic shifts out on timing loop, or your paddle shifting, which is still different than a manual. But again, there's that price to performance kind of scenario there. So that's the whole math behind it, or the reason behind this science project is if there's an actual performance gap between rendering between the 2 CPUs. If there's not, then I've been proven wrong, and then I will take it as a man and agree, and then that would be another information for everyone else to know on here. And I think it's going to be a fun one. I guess because I'm on that subject anyways, we'll go jump into the gaming performance myths with hardware. So, CPU being the beginning topic right there. If you were to put the same generation of CPUs together, and with a gap in between, so we'll go AMD in this case, Ryzen 5, we'll go with the 5600X against a Ryzen 9 5900X. Okay? And gaming-wise, you're not going to get much performance and FPS difference. This all depends on your storage drive and your GPU. But overall, with your CPU and that performance, you're not getting anything different. So if you're just gaming only, for frames per second, you're better off getting the 5600X at $140, if that, than spending more money on a discrete graphics card, say the 6800, and then have a decent motherboard like the B550 motherboard at running 16 to 32 gigs of DDR4 RAM and a good terabyte storage drive. And it don't even have to be a Gen 5 or a Gen 4. You could running a Gen 3. You're not going to use much more than like 700 to 1200 megabits per second from an M.2 drive. Just to be aware of that, your storage drives between a 2.5-inch SSD and an NVMe is not going to be much different when you're gaming, performance-wise. So it's on the same boat as a CPU. You're not going to get much read and write speeds when it comes to gaming. So with that all being said, you got to really pay attention. So when you're building, let's go to here. We'll go to PC Part Picker. We'll start a new build. I'm gonna just drop in a 5600X. Oh shit. Okay, and it's at $144. Okay, stock cooler. We're not gonna try to do all that. Okay, we're gonna go with a B550 motherboard. Decent one. Alright, we're just going to go with the Asus TUF. Memory, I'm just going to go with 16 gigs. Storage, we'll go with the terabyte. Jesus. Alright, we'll go with 980 Pro. It doesn't matter. Okay, we're just going to do that, and then we're going to go video card. We're just going to go with I'm Asus, or AMD all the way. I'll go with 6800. case, we're just going to go with the 4000 Corsair D. Now, yes, I understand cooling your CPU and your case as a part with parts with the greatest airflow you could possibly do definitely is going to give you a little bit more performance. I do understand that, but right now we're just going to go basic metal to metal kind of thing. Power supply, we're just going to do the 750. Okay, so stock all that, you know, that's great. And how much is it? Just under a hair under $1,000 without the OS. Okay, we could even get that cheaper if we really wanted to. You're putting most of your money into the GPU, where you're going to get most of your gaming performance. So your storage drive, you're only going to use, again, maybe 1500 megabits per second, if that. Your RAM, 16 gigs of RAM. You're going to be running great at 3200. Now the CL, I would definitely get that lower than 16 if I could, in all honesty. And then the motherboard, you're going to be putting on some decent performance. And then your Ryzen AMD 5600X, it's going to be great for gaming. I mean, it's great, 6 cores, 12 thread CPU. And then airflow is airflow. Alright, 1 second, we'll be right back.
There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on. Skynet's global network remains strong, but we will not quit until all of it is destroyed. This is John Connor. There is no fate, but what we make. There is a storm on the horizon, a time of hardship and pain. This battle has been won, but the war against the machines rages on.
Alright, I'm back. Where was I? Okay, so yeah, so performance-wise, it's when you're getting a CPU just like the 5600X, a decent motherboard, good RAM, good drive, and a really good GPU. That's where your performance is gonna lie. Is that GPU? It's not gonna be your CPU. That CPU is just gonna be able to handle it and be able to let that GPU do what it needs to do. I mean, that's all it's gonna do. There's no bottleneck. No bottleneck. I'm tired of hearing that fucking phrase. No bottleneck. If you were to put anything in there, anything will have a bottleneck. Everything. You know, nothing is going to be, let's say, locked. Okay, nothing's going to be 100% locked. It's always going to be, there's something going to be a little off about it. You know what I mean? But this right here is going to be a great performing, system, gaming system. Nothing else, just gaming. Okay. Now, if you're trying to do, streaming, increase your RAM. Maybe get a better motherboard, like the B570 motherboard, if you want. B550 is still a great fucking motherboard for anything. If you really wanted to go to get something better, like actual more performance, then get the 5800X3D. Then you're gonna get actual gaming performance to support your GPU. It's proven fact that gaming, your CPU does not do much unless AMD has proven the X3D variants. It's just that it's facts. It's straight facts. Honestly, that is not a bad fucking system right there for $1,000. That is a pretty hard system to go. But yeah, that's that. It seems like not a lot of it's pretty dead on the stream, unfortunately. Hate to say it. Yeah, it's pretty dead. Check some messages real quick. Hold on. Alright. Well, I think that will end this Tech Talk Thursday episode. Don't forget to share, like, follow, subscribe, all that good fun stuff, because it does help the channel provide more content like this and better content at that. And don't forget to check out the Discord page, and the Amazon affiliates, and all that other social media crap. So, hope to see you all next time. I will talk to you.